Plan your trade and trade your plan. This is one of the most common phrases when it comes to the stock market. Everyone keeps talking about how important it is to plan your trades and how it plays a vital role when it comes to breaking the threshold of consistency. But while everyone is focusing on the whys, like why you should plan your trades or why you should trade your plan, I guess no one is focusing on the hows. How to do it? What exactly is a trade plan? How do you plan it? Etc. So I decided to make a video specifically for explaining how to plan your trades and how to trade your plan. It might be that in this very video you will find the answers for your trading problems. So make sure to watch the video until the end. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Shrish here from Trading Explained, and now without any further ado, let's begin. So let's start the video by understanding the very basics of what exactly does a trade plan mean. Well, first up, according to me, there are two types of trade plans. This might not be true for every person who trades the market. This is my particular way of looking at trade plans. Alright, so number one is process based trade plan, while number two is situation based trade plan. Let's understand the difference between the two. According to me, process based trade plan is that which is based on your setup, which defines your risk, your reward, your entry and your exit. So basically, any setup that you trade has to be based on some process, and that is called a process based trade plan. Similarly, on the other hand, what is a situation based trade plan? It is more of a what if situation. What if my 3 stop losses get hit in a row? What if my daily target is done in first 30 minutes? What do I do if I get a win streak of, let's say, 5 trades? Or what if I lose my daily capital in like first 2 trades itself? All these things are situational. You won't be able to know any of these situations before it actually occurs, right? And that is why it is extremely important for us to have a trade plan ready for every possible situation. Like for example, let's discuss these possibilities that I have mentioned over here. So when I was in my learning phase, I had some particular rules for myself when, let's say, 3 stop losses got hit in a row when I am following my setup. So I made a rule for myself that whenever my 3 stop losses got hit in a row while I was following my setup, I will stop trading for that particular day. Alright. Similarly, I had a rule for myself that if my daily target is met in first 30 minutes itself, I will not trade in that day further. That was to avoid greed, right? Now similarly, to manage the risk, I had some capital allotted for every single day. It usually used to vary between 2% and 5%. So if I lost that particular capital in first 2 trades itself, I will stop trading for that day. So these are all called situational trade plans. While on the other hand, we have process based trade plan. Now what does process based trade plan mean? To simplify it, you need to know what your setup is, right? You need to have some sort of setup. It can be a moving average breakout, a MACD breakout or a pullback, anything. You got to have some setup, and that setup need to have a proper entry, proper exit and a proper risk reward strategy. And based on that, you need to focus on that particular trade plan. So now let's move forward in the video and understand how to plan your trade and how to trade your plan. So to start off, when you're planning your trade, you need to have a crisp and clear understanding about 4 things. And which are those 4 things? They are entry, they are exit, they are risk and reward. So you need to be very specific about taking an entry when you are taking a trade, because random entries is what spoils most of the people, right? Random entries, taking random trades is what killing most of the retail traders out there. So you need to be very specific about what your entry is and why you are taking that trade, purpose of the trade, right? Is it a setup based trade or it is just a random trade because you feel the market is going to go this way or that way? You need to decide on that, and you need to take your entry only when your setup allows you to. Okay. Other than that, don't take an entry. Second, you need to be very specific about your exit. Now exit actually has 2 points. It has a target point and a stop loss point. So you need to be very clear about what your target is when you are taking a trade. Your target and stop loss, you need to know that before taking your entry. Okay, so when your target is hit, you need to get out of the trade no matter what, because if you do not get out at your target, the greed will start to kick in, and no matter what or no matter how market goes in your favor, you will not feel satisfied. So getting out at targets is equally important. And then Stop loss. So for stop loss, you need to know your negation point. What is a negation point? Negation point is basically where your setup is failing. There has to be some point where your entry is just not working out, and that point has to be your stop loss. So you need to have a crisp and clear understanding about your entry and your exit. Again, target and stop loss. Similarly, you need to manage your risk. You shouldn't risk more money on one particular trade which you cannot make back in another trade. So that is why it's extremely important to know about your risk. I'm not going to talk in terms of percentages over here, because for those who have smaller accounts, it makes no sense for me to talk, hey, risk just 1% of your capital. What is the guy going to do if his capital is like 10k or so, right? So people with smaller capital need to risk more in order to make money, right? But that risk needs to be very specific, and you need to have a clear understanding yourself about what you are risking. It shouldn't happen that you risked on a particular trade and then 10 minutes later you are clueless about what is happening or why you are losing so much money. That shouldn't happen. As far as you know what you are doing, any amount of risk that you are taking is absolutely okay, but you must know what you are doing. So risk must be in control. I look at it as if I need to risk only that much which I can make on any other given trade. So that makes things easy, right? And then the reward. So when you take a risk, it also comes with reward. If risk is not there, reward is also not there. So when risk is associated with something, there is also a reward. And for risk and reward thing, you must know that you need to keep your trades running longer when they are going in your favor. Basically, you must take a risk reward of at least 1:3. I'm talking at least, okay? That's minimum. If you take 1:2 or 1:1, you're not going to make money in the long term. You're just going to pay brokerage and security transaction taxes and whatnot. It takes a minimum of 1:3 risk reward with 50% odd accuracy if you want to sustain in markets. So go for those higher rewards. Don't exit out your positions when you are in profits. Don't exit out early, right? So this is a process based trade plan. You need to have a clear and crisp understanding about your entry, the purpose of your entry, the exit, the negation point and the target point, the risk that you are putting in, and the reward. So this needs to be combined with whatever setup that you are trading. If you are trading a breakout setup, then combine these four things with that breakout setup, and then you will have your own trade plan. Okay, so now you must be wondering, now we know how to plan our trades. But hey Shrish, what about how to trade your plan? How do we do it? Well, to keep it simple, let me tell you that to trade your own plans, you need only one thing, and that is called execution. What is execution? Execution is basically practicing your own setup thousands of times so that it gives you an edge over other people to punch your orders without any hesitation or emotion. Like for example, if let's say your entry is coming on the screen and the market is telling you to enter into that particular script. Now what happens is usually people think a lot when their entry or exit is around the corner. People start thinking, why should I enter into this market does not look good, etc. There are so many things that come into people's mind when entry or exit things are around the corner. But when you practice your setup, when you execute those things a lot many times, it gives you a supreme edge over others of punching orders without a second doubt, punching orders without any emotions, punching orders without any second thought. And that is extremely important. And how do you think execution is going to come to you? It's only going to come from practice. So you need to practice your setup a lot more times than you think you need to. Okay, just keep on practicing it every single day. And at one point you will feel that, okay, now I don't need to think about my entries or exits or the risk that I'm putting in. I don't need to calculate those things in my mind before taking an entry or exit. I already know in my mind what is the risk that is going to get involved in this particular trade, what is the reward that is there, where the entry is and where the exit are. So it needs to come to a point where all these things are set in your mind and your execution becomes flawless. Okay, so I told you about how to plan a trade, but to trade a plan, it is only practice that is going to help you, because once you start practicing, it will start giving you an edge over others to help you execute in markets without any second thoughts. And finally, closing on this video, let's talk about situation based trade plans. So come up with situations, odd situations that you might think might happen to you in markets, like losing 3 or 4 trades in a row when you are doing your setup trades, or hitting your daily target in first 2 or 3 trades, or maybe getting a 4 or 5 trade win streak, etc. Plan all those situations that you think can happen to you while you're trading markets. That include your broker getting hanged, that includes you getting a panic attack, that includes you getting numb and emotionless when your positions are on, everything. Just remind yourself or imagine of all those situations that you think can happen and come up with an answer for every possible situation. So when that situation actually occurs, you are ready with an answer. You won't be like a helpless sheep in a jungle where lions are surrounding you. And for that, imagine those situations and imagine those answers to it. I hope this video has helped you in some or the other way, and if it has, then make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel, because I keep coming back with such videos that revolve around trading, trading psychology, trading success, trading consistency. Everything that you need to know about trading you will find on this channel. So make sure to subscribe. I will see you in the next one. Until then, you guys take care. Bye bye. Peace out.